Imagine a war where every advanced weapon, every piece of powerful technology, becomes useless against a group of people who shouldn't even stand a chance. What if those who were seen as weak, primitive, and insignificant suddenly became the biggest threat to an unstoppable alien army? This is the story of the Deathworlders, humans from the harsh planet Earth, a species underestimated by the entire galaxy. How did they, with their outdated tools and raw survival instincts, bring an alien empire to its knees? What strategy did they use that no one saw coming? As you watch, ask yourself, what makes a species truly strong? Is it technology or something deeper? In the distant reaches of the galaxy, countless worlds exist, and many of them are locked in endless conflict. Among these worlds, the Deathworlders, humans born from the harsh and unforgiving planet Earth, are known for their ability to survive in the most extreme environments. They have faced countless challenges throughout their history, always fighting to live another day. Despite this, other species in the galaxy often underestimate humans. To most alien races, humans seem primitive, their technology far less advanced compared to the powerful alien empires that control the stars. They see humanity as weak and insignificant, not realizing that the true strength of humans lies not in their tools or machines, but in their will to survive. As the galaxy descends into a massive war, humans find themselves facing a terrifying enemy, a powerful alien coalition armed with the most advanced technology in the universe. The alien armies, led by General Center, are preparing for an all-out assault on the last remaining human defenses. Confident in their superior weapons and strategies, the aliens believe that the humans will be easily crushed. What they don't know is that humanity has a long and brutal history of fighting against impossible odds. Buried deep in their past is an ancient strategy forgotten by many, but about to be brought back to life. This strategy, crafted in the darkest days of Earth's history, will soon change everything and prove that underestimating the Deathworlders was a fatal mistake. Humans may lack the technological advancements of their alien enemies, but their instincts for survival, their cunning, and their ability to adapt are unmatched. The galaxy is about to witness the power of the Deathworlders and their ancient strategy, a plan that will leave alien armies in ruins and show the universe that humans are far from weak. General Center, the leader of the alien coalition, stood tall and confident. For years, he had led his army through countless victories, defeating species after species with ease. His race had mastered the art of war with their advanced technology, powerful weapons, impenetrable shields, and highly efficient drones. Humans, to him, were nothing more than an insignificant nuisance, far too primitive to pose any real threat. From the control room of his massive warship, Center looked at the tactical display showing Earth's last remaining human outpost. His face showed nothing but certainty. This battle, like all the others, would be swift. Humans would soon be wiped out. The alien fleet moved forward in perfect formation. Their ships, sleek and glowing with the energy of advanced shields, seemed unstoppable. In comparison, the human defenses appeared weak, their small fleet scattered and barely functioning. To the aliens, it was obvious that humanity had no chance. Center's officers, all highly trained and equally confident, shared his belief that this would be a quick and decisive victory. But while the alien fleet was preparing its assault deep inside the damaged human outpost, Commander Alex Drake was formulating a plan. Unlike the aliens, Drake knew that humanity had always survived through more than just technology. Throughout history, humans had faced impossible odds, battling stronger enemies with better weapons. But it wasn't strength that had saved them. It was their cunning, their resourcefulness, and their ability to adapt. Drake understood that fighting the aliens head-on was a losing game. Their weapons were too powerful, their numbers too great. Instead, he looked to the past, searching through ancient military records for a strategy that could level the playing field. Beside him stood Captain Nadia Wren, his trusted second-in-command. Wren was skeptical at first, knowing that the alien fleet was far more advanced. "They outnumber us, and their weapons are something we've never seen before," she said, her voice filled with concern. "How are we supposed to fight against that?" Drake remained calm as he scanned the ancient data on his screen. "We don't fight them on their terms," he said. We use what they can't see coming. Long before we had technology like theirs, our ancestors fought in ways that can still defeat any enemy. Guerrilla tactics, misdirection, and survival instincts. The aliens think they've already won because they rely on their machines, but they've never faced the true strength of humanity. Drake's plan was risky, but it was the only option. Instead of meeting the alien fleet head-on, he would use the environment to his advantage, setting traps and ambushes in the nearby asteroid field. The alien drones, programmed for efficiency, would be confused by the irregular human tactics. Their advanced systems couldn't predict the chaos that Drake was about to unleash. The key to victory wasn't in technology, it was in outthinking the enemy. As the alien ships drew closer, preparing to fire their devastating weapons, Drake gave the order to begin the attack. "Let them come," he said with a quiet confidence. "We'll show them what it means to be a Deathworlder." The human forces, though small in number, were ready. They had no illusions about the difficulty of the battle ahead. They trusted their commander's strategy. As the alien fleet approached, their confidence unshaken, the humans prepared to fight not with superior firepower, but with tactics honed over centuries of survival. The battle was about to begin, and the aliens had no idea what was waiting for them. The alien fleet moved into position, their formation perfect and precise, just as General Senta had planned. The alien warships, with their shimmering shields and powerful energy weapons, seemed unstoppable. Senta stood in the command center, watching the tactical displays with a smug satisfaction. Humans are predictable, he thought. Their defenses are weak, and their resistance will crumble under our firepower. But something strange happened as the fleet moved closer to the human outpost. Suddenly, additional signals began to appear on the alien scanners. The humans, it seemed, had more ships than the aliens initially thought. Senta frowned as one of his officers spoke up. "Sir, we're detecting multiple new targets," the officer said, his voice tense. "It appears the humans have more ships hidden in the area. Their fleet is much larger than we anticipated." Senta's expression tightened. "Impossible," he said coldly. "Their technology is primitive. They can't be hiding that many ships. Focus all sensors on their fleet and prepare to fire." Unknown to the aliens, what they were seeing was not a real human fleet, but a clever trick. Commander Drake had deployed cloaked satellites and decoys, projecting false signals that confused the alien scanners. The illusion of a much larger force was working. The aliens hesitated, unsure of the true size of the human fleet. And in that hesitation, the real attack began. Drake, monitoring the alien confusion from the human command center, gave the signal. "Now," he said quietly, and the human ships, small and fast, launched their first strike. From the nearby asteroid field, hidden human vessels shot forward with incredible speed. These weren't large warships armed with powerful weapons. They were smaller craft, outfitted with electromagnetic pulse, EMP devices designed to disrupt the alien drones and shields. The alien ships, so reliant on their advanced technology, suddenly found themselves in chaos as their systems flickered and went offline. "Sir, we're experiencing interference," another alien officer called out, panic creeping into his voice. "Our drones are malfunctioning, and several of our ships are losing shield integrity." Senta's jaw clenched as he watched his fleet struggle to maintain formation. "How are they doing this?" he muttered. "Their ships should be no match for us." Meanwhile, the humans executed their guerrilla tactics with precision. They didn't engage the alien fleet in a direct battle. Instead, they struck and disappeared, using the asteroid field as cover. Every time the aliens tried to regroup, the humans would launch another quick attack, disabling key systems or destroying isolated ships before retreating again. It was a hit-and-run strategy, one that used the chaos to keep the aliens off balance. Captain Wren, aboard one of the Lee human ships, coordinated the strikes with calm efficiency. "Keep moving, don't engage for long," she instructed over the comms. "We're faster than they are. Hit them where it hurts and get out before they can react." Drake, still at the command center, watched the battle unfold. His plan was working. The aliens were growing increasingly confused, unable to predict the humans' next move. Their superior technology was failing them in the face of unpredictable human ingenuity. They relied too much on their machines, Drake thought. We'll show them that it takes more than technology to win a war. Back on the alien flagship, Center's frustration was turning into anger. How are they attacking us like this? Our ships are far superior, he shouted, slamming his fist on the control panel. His officers were scrambling, trying to regain control of the situation, but it was clear that their advanced systems were not built to handle this kind of warfare. The alien fleet, once so perfectly organized and efficient, was now in disarray. Ships collided as they tried to maneuver through the asteroid field, their drones malfunctioning due to the EMP attacks. Several of their lead vessels were now drifting aimlessly, systems completely offline. What had started as a confident assault had turned into a chaotic mess. Meanwhile, the human forces kept up their relentless pressure. Using the natural cover of the asteroid field, they struck again and again, each time taking out another key target. The aliens, with all their technological superiority, were being outwitted at every turn. "They're losing control," Wren said, her voice steady, but with a hint of satisfaction. "We're turning the tide." But Drake knew the battle wasn't over yet. He could see the alien fleet still had the numbers and firepower to mount a counterattack if they regrouped. "Don't get comfortable," he warned his team. "We've only just started. Keep them off balance. If they can't recover, we win. If they do, we're finished." Back on the alien flagship, Center could feel the battle slipping away. His arrogance had blinded him to the possibility that the humans could fight back with such effectiveness. He had underestimated their resilience and their willingness to fight in ways the aliens were unprepared for. "They fight like animals," he sneered. "They strike from the shadows and run like cowards." But even as he spoke, Center knew that this strategy was working. His fleet was crumbling, and his once flawless plan had turned into a nightmare. For the first time in his long career, he was facing an enemy he didn't fully understand. The Deathworlders were showing him that strength didn't always come from superior technology. "They will pay for this," Center growled as he desperately tried to rally his forces. But as the alien fleet continued to falter, it became clear to everyone watching that the battle was already slipping from the aliens' grasp. The humans, through their clever tactics and unyielding will to survive, were turning the tide of the war. The battle was shifting, but Commander Drake knew the hardest part was yet to come. The aliens were still a powerful force, and despite their confusion, they could regroup at any moment. Time was critical. Drake stood in the command center, eyes fixed on the flickering holographic display showing the alien fleet. His strategy had worked so far, but now it was time to strike at the heart of the enemy, their command ship. "Captain Wren," Drake called out over the comms, "prepare the boarding teams. We're going after Center's flagship." Captain Wren's voice crackled back through the speakers, steady as always. "Understood, Commander. We'll be ready." The alien fleet was still in disarray, ships struggling to maintain formation, their systems flickering from the human attacks. But Center's flagship remained intact, its shields holding firm, surrounded by a protective cluster of alien vessels. It was the nerve center of the entire alien operation, and taking it down would send the alien forces into full retreat. Drake's plan was to board the flagship and disable it from the inside. It was a risky move, perhaps the riskiest part of the entire battle, but it was the only way to deliver a decisive blow. The Deathworlder strategy wasn't just about confusing the enemy. It was about striking where they least expected it, and in a way they couldn't defend against. As Drake prepared to leave the command center, one of his officers spoke up. "Sir, are you sure about this? It's a suicide mission. Their shields are still active, and their defenses are advanced beyond anything we've faced." Drake turned, his face calm but resolute. "We've survived worse, and they won't be expecting this. That's how we win." Drake boarded one of the human assault ships alongside Captain Wren and a team of elite Deathworlder soldiers. These soldiers weren't equipped with the advanced weapons the aliens were accustomed to facing. Instead, they carried older, more rudimentary gear, armor designed for mobility, projectile firearms that could fire in bursts, and explosives that could punch through thick hulls. While the aliens relied on energy-based weapons, which were powerful but prone to destruction, humans had learned the value of simplicity. Their weapons wouldn't fail, even in the chaos of battle. The small human assault ships moved swiftly through the asteroid field, dodging the alien patrols and debris, heading straight for Xenta's flagship. The larger alien vessels were still struggling with the human hit-and-run tactics, their sensors overwhelmed by the chaos around them. As the human ships approached the flagship, Drake's team launched EMP blasts that momentarily weakened its shields, creating a brief window to penetrate its defenses. "Go, go, go!" Captain Wren shouted as their ship closed in. The boarding pod shot forward, attaching itself to the hull of the flagship with a heavy thud. Within seconds, the Deathworlders were inside. The interior of the alien ship was pristine and cold, its walls lined with glowing panels and smooth surfaces. The contrast between the high-tech alien environment and the rugged human soldiers was stark. But the Deathworlders didn't hesitate. They moved swiftly and silently through the narrow corridors, using their knowledge of close-quarters combat to their advantage. The alien soldiers, trained for precision warfare in large-scale battles, were unprepared for the sudden, brutal force of the human attack. Drake led the charge, his firearm blazing as he cut down alien guards. "Keep pushing forward. We need to reach the command center," he barked over the comms. The Deathworlders pressed on, overwhelming the alien soldiers who were still disoriented by the unexpected boarding party. In the command center of the flagship, General Xenta watched the chaos unfold on the monitors. His once orderly fleet was now a mess, and the humans, those primitive Deathworlders, had boarded his ship. Rage filled him as he realized the extent of his underestimation. He had thought of the humans as nothing more than pests, an annoyance to be quickly eradicated. But now, they were on his ship, threatening everything he had built. How did they get aboard? Xenta snarled at his officers. "Get those intruders off my ship." But it was too late. The Deathworlders were already inside the heart of the ship. Drake and his team reached the main control room, blasting through the final security doors. The alien officers inside were no match for the sheer ferocity of the human soldiers. The fight was quick and brutal, leaving Drake and Wren standing face to face with General Xenta. Xenta's eyes blazed with fury as he faced the humans. "You filthy creatures! How dare you board my ship?" Drake stepped forward, his weapon still raised. "You thought your technology made you invincible," he said calmly. "You thought we were weak, but you forgot one thing." Xenta sneered, backing up toward the control console. "And what is that?" Drake's eyes were cold as he answered. "We're Deathworlders. We don't need your tech. We have something far more powerful, the will to survive." With that, Drake fired, destroying the control console. The lights in the command center flickered, and the ship began to shudder violently as its systems went into full failure. Without the control center operational, the flagship's defenses crumbled. The remaining alien ships in the fleet, still reliant on the flagship's coordination, began to falter even more. Captain Wren quickly moved to Drake's side as the ship shook around them. "We've got to get out of here before this thing goes down." Drake nodded. "Let's move." The Deathworlder team retreated as the alien flagship began to tear itself apart. Explosions echoed through the corridors as they made their way back to the boarding pod, escaping just in time as the massive alien vessel crumbled into pieces behind them. Outside, the rest of the alien fleet, disorganized and leaderless, began to retreat in disarray. The battle was won. Back in the human command center, cheers erupted as the alien forces retreated from the sector. The Deathworlder strategy had worked. Against all odds, they had outsmarted and outlasted a vastly superior enemy. The galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. As Drake and Wren's assault ship returned to the station, the commander allowed himself a small, grim smile. They had done the impossible, just as humanity always had. The Deathworlders had shown that in the end, it wasn't about technology or numbers. It was about survival, and no one in the galaxy could survive like the people of Earth. The strategy was complete. The alien armies lay in ruins, and humanity had prevailed. The battle was over. The once mighty alien fleet with all its technological prowess and overwhelming firepower, now lay in pieces, scattered across the vast expanse of space. Wreckage drifted through the darkness, silent and still. The few remaining alien ships were retreating, their engines flickering as they limped away from the battlefield, battered and broken. What had started as an overwhelming invasion force had been reduced to debris and fleeing survivors. Humanity had won. Inside the human command center, a heavy silence hung in the air. The battle had been fierce, and many lives had been lost, but the humans had emerged victorious. Commander Alex Drake stood at the observation deck, staring out at the remnants of the alien fleet. His face, usually hardened by years of war, showed a brief moment of reflection. It wasn't the first time humanity had faced impossible odds, but this victory felt different. It wasn't just about survival, it was about proving something. Captain Nadia Wren joined him at the window, her expression weary but triumphant. "We did it," she said softly, her voice breaking the silence. "We actually did it. I didn't think we'd make it through that." Drake nodded slowly, his eyes never leaving the floating wreckage. "We survived," he said, his voice calm, "but we paid a price. A lot of good people died out there." Rem glanced at him, understanding the weight of his words. The victory was theirs, but it had come at a heavy cost. Many of their comrades, brave men and women who had fought to the last breath, wouldn't return. "It's never easy, is it?" she asked, her voice quiet. "No," Drake replied, his tone serious. "It never is." For a moment, they both stood there, taking in the aftermath. The sight of the alien destruction was a testament to the sheer will and determination of humanity. Against an enemy that had outgunned them, outnumbered them, and underestimated them, the humans had fought back with everything they had, and won. The ancient strategy Drake had unearthed, those forgotten tactics of guerrilla warfare and survival, had once again proven their worth. "They thought we were weak," Ren said after a while, a hint of satisfaction in her voice. "They thought their technology made them untouchable." Drake's lips curled into a small, grim smile. "That's the problem with arrogance. It makes you blind. They underestimated us because they couldn't see beyond their own superiority. They thought we were savages, fighting with outdated methods. But they forgot that we've been doing this for centuries, fighting against odds that seemed impossible." Ren nodded in agreement. They didn't understand that it's not the tools we use that make us dangerous. It's who we are. The truth was clear. Humanity had always been shaped by adversity. Earth, a planet filled with danger and unpredictability, had forced humans to adapt and survive in ways that other species couldn't comprehend. While the alien forces had placed their faith in technology, humans had placed their faith in themselves, in their instincts, their grit, and their unyielding determination to survive. As the alien fleet vanished into the distance, defeated and broken, Drake knew that this victory would change everything. The galaxy had underestimated the Deathworlders, humans who had faced the worst their home planet had to offer and thrived. Now, after this battle, they would be seen in a new light. No longer would humans be viewed as weak or insignificant. The alien races would remember this day as the moment when humanity showed its true strength. "We've sent a message," Drake said quietly, more to himself than to Ren. "The galaxy won't forget what happened here." Ren looked at him, her eyes sharp with understanding. "No, they won't. That means we've painted a target on ourselves. They'll be back. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but they'll come for us again." Drake's face hardened at her words, knowing the truth in them. The aliens would regroup, and the next time they came, they would be more cautious, more prepared. But he wasn't afraid. If anything, this victory had shown him that humanity could face whatever came next. They had proven themselves capable of surviving against all odds, and that was something no amount of alien technology could ever take away. "They'll come," Drake said, his voice resolute, "and we'll be ready." The camera slowly pulled back from the observation deck, revealing the vast emptiness of space littered with the debris of the fallen alien fleet. In the darkness among the wreckage, there was a sense of calm, a hard-earned peace after a brutal fight. But this was not the end. Humanity had won this battle, but the war was far from over. Still, Drake felt a sense of confidence that he hadn't felt before. The Deathworlders had survived, and as long as there were humans willing to fight, they always would. With a final glance at the battlefield, Drake turned away from the window, heading back to his command post. There was much to do, and the future of humanity's place in the galaxy had just been rewritten. As he walked away, Ren's voice followed him. "Commander, what now?" Drake paused for a moment, then answered with quiet determination. "Now, we prepare, because next time, they won't underestimate us." The battlefield was silent now, the chaos of war replaced by the stillness of space. The wreckage of the alien fleet floated aimlessly, scattered across the void like remnants of a forgotten battle. But this battle would not be forgotten. It would be remembered as the day the Deathworlders, humans from the harsh planet Earth, rose up against an enemy far more advanced, far more powerful, and won. Commander Alex Drake stood alone on the observation deck, gazing out at the debris that had once been an unstoppable alien force. The weight of the battle lingered, but so did the satisfaction of victory. Humanity had been underestimated, treated as weak and primitive. But today they had shown the galaxy what they were truly capable of. It wasn't just technology that won wars. It was the strength of will, the ability to adapt, and the refusal to surrender, no matter the odds. As the stars twinkled faintly in the distance, Drake reflected on what this victory meant. It wasn't just about defeating a powerful enemy. It was about survival. Humanity had always been survivors, from the earliest days on Earth to this moment in the farthest reaches of space. They had endured everything thrown at them, and they had emerged stronger every time. The aliens had believed their technology made them invincible, but they had forgotten one crucial truth. Survival wasn't about machines or weapons. It was about the spirit of those who fought to live another day, and humanity's spirit was unbreakable. Drake turned away from the window, knowing this wasn't the end. There would be more battles, more enemies who sought to challenge the Deathworlders. But now, the galaxy knew what humans were capable of. The world that had shaped them, the harsh, unforgiving Earth, had prepared them for anything. No matter what came next, humanity would be ready. With that final thought, Drake walked away, leaving the quiet battlefield behind. The galaxy had seen the strength of the Deathworlders, and from this moment on, no one would ever underestimate them again. The message was clear: humanity would survive. No matter the enemy, no matter the odds, the Deathworlders had proven that, and they would continue to prove it for as long as they needed to. Now that you've witnessed the Deathworlders' victory, you might be wondering, how far will humanity go to survive? If a species can win against impossible odds with nothing but willpower and strategy, what else are they capable of? As the galaxy now knows, the true power of humanity lies not in machines, but in their relentless drive to live, no matter what. But this battle is just the beginning. What challenges will come next, and how will the Deathworlders face them? Survival is not a matter of strength, but of will, and the Deathworlders will endure.